Hey mamas, you are listening to the Motherhood is Ghetto podcast. We all know motherhood can be a beautiful thing, but girl, it can also be ghetto. Join me as we discuss some of the best and worst parts of being a mom raising kids, all while trying to figure out this thing called life. This ghetto is a safe space, mamas. So welcome to the hood. Hey mamas, welcome back to another episode of Motherhood is Ghetto. My name is Joy, and how y'all doing out there? If you're doing all right, you already know what to say. Say amen. I pray that you are having a great day, a great week so far. July is wrapping up. July is about to pack her bags, and it's going to be August. Amen. Kids will be headed back to school soon. And I think this is like the first summer that I have not felt like I can't wait for my kids to go back to school. We've actually been having a lot of fun this summer, and I'm kind of sad that it's about to end. And I kind of don't want summer to end because it's been so fun. And I think this is the first time that I've ever felt like this because normally by this time, I'm ready for them to go back to school. I'm usually ready for them to go back because they're eating up everything and they're just sitting around the house doing nothing. But I definitely I feel a little different this year. I don't know what it is, but I really hate that summer's coming to an end. But I feel super happy and blessed that we had a great summer and are having a great summer so far. And I hope that you all are having a great summer too and gearing up for back to school. I know I've taken my kids back to school shopping on one of these days this week. I'm gonna take them back to school shopping just to get it out of the way and beat the rush. So yeah, if you're in the same boat and you're about to start back to school shopping for the babies, good luck. I hope that you're able to get everything you need and you stay within budget. Amen. And don't overspend. Get the kids what they need to succeed. Amen. And speaking of budgets, you already know the Empower Mama Planner. It is still available on Amazon right now. And if you're not aware, the Empower Mama Planner is a planner that I created especially for moms to help you stay on track with not only making sure you remember important dates and events, but also to keeping on track with self-care, making sure you're taking care of yourself, and also to keeping track with your money and budgeting. In the planner, there is a 12-month undated calendar, so you can buy the planner at any time of the year and start it whenever. It meets you exactly where you're at. Also, too, there are weekly calendar sheets. So if you like to go through your planners like by the weeks instead of like on a one calendar and writing in the small space of the calendar, you can use the weekly planner sheets as well. Also, too, there is a 90-day brain dump. So every 90 days, there will be a space specifically in the planner for you to plan out the next 90 days and get all the thoughts and stuff out on paper. And there is also journaling space every month. So every month you can take time to reflect and all that good stuff. And at the back of the journal, there are self care challenges and money saving challenges that you can use by yourself or with friends or with your kids to help you stay accountable. Not only making sure that you're taking time to take care of yourself, but also too you're doing what you need to do to keep your finances in order. So, if that sounds like any of the things that you're interested in, you can purchase the planner on Amazon. I will have it linked in the show notes if you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcast. Or if you're watching on YouTube, I will have it linked in the description box below. Amen. Amen. So today we are going to be talking about harmony over balance. So What I mean by that is, as moms, and I catch myself doing this too, but as moms, we often go through our day and our weeks and our months, and we tell ourselves and other people that, I'm just trying to balance everything. I'm just trying to balance being a mom, being a wife, being a corporate worker, or if you're an entrepreneur, like being an entrepreneur, and at the same time trying to balance relationships, friendships, all that good stuff. And we find ourselves using the term like work life balance a lot and saying, like, oh, I need a healthy work life balance, or I need to, just balance everything that I got going on to make sure that, like, I'm good, right? But what if us trying to balance everything is really not what we need? What if we need to start incorporating more harmony? And instead of trying to balance everything, we create harmony. So, when you think of the word balance or the actual definition of balance, it's essentially you're trying to keep everything up at the same level so that way nothing falls. So if you can picture like trying to balance books on your head, and when the books start to sway this way, you have to go this way, or if it goes that way, because you have to keep every book at the same level so that way they don't slip off your head. But the problem that I see with balance is that everything can't be at the same level in your life. Not everything is meant to be at the same level of your life. So why are we sitting here trying to balance everything at the same height or at the same level when they may not we may not need to do that because some things are more important than others and some things don't readily need our attention like other things do. So when I think about harmony though, I think about the overall feeling and flow of whatever it is that I'm trying to accomplish. So, fun fact, if you're into music or not, whatever, this is a fun fact. So, harmony gives the music that you're listening to the emotion, the feeling. So, when two or more notes are played at the same time, but not at the same level. They're not the same notes. They're different notes played at the same time. That's what creates harmony in music. So that's either going to evoke an emotion of like happiness in the music, or it's going to evoke an emotion of sadness in the music, or it's going to invoke like scary, sinister, depending on what the score is of the music, right? But harmony in music is important because every note cannot be played at the same level. It cannot be played at the same pitch. It cannot be played at the same tone. It cannot be played at the same volume. So there's harmony within a music piece. And I think that we need to start looking at our lives like music, basically, and stop trying to balance everything at the same level and really focus on making sure that we are clear on what's a priority for us and what's not so much of a priority. Things that need our immediate attention and things that don't necessarily need our immediate attention. And I think that if we look at life that way and the things that we have on our plate that way, then I think that it would help. I think that it would help that if we start looking at it in a way of I'm creating harmony in my life instead of balance. And don't get me wrong, balance isn't a bad thing, but everything can't be at the same level. And especially if you drop something, like when you're trying to balance something, if one thing falls, everything falls in the game of balance. Or if you're even looking at it on a scale, like if something falls off the scale, then there's a drastic change and there's a shift. So, but that's not what we're looking for. We're looking to, so like picture it like you have 8 arms, like four on this side and four on this side. And each hand on that arm is holding something, but all 8 of your hands are not at the same level. There's one up here, there's one down here, there's one down lower. So I feel like that's the way that we should handle things that we're trying to incorporate in our lives. Just they can all work and be together at the same time, but not at the same level. Not at the same not at the same position on your priority list. And that goes with everything. That goes with work, school, relationships, friendships, all that good stuff. And you have to be clear and be intentional on whatever it is that you're looking to prioritize and that need your attention. And when there's harmony in your life, you won't drop anything. You see what I'm saying? Like nothing will drop and cause commotion with the other things. Because it works in harmony, if you have to put something down to free up space for something else, it doesn't affect the other things that are going on. It doesn't affect the emotion of the music. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just me or I'm always thinking in music terms, but I really was sitting the other day thinking about that, and I'm like, why do we always say that we want balance? Like, balance means that everything is at the same level, and I don't want that. I want everything to work in harmony in my life, so that way it flows better. It works like everything is supposed to. And I really do feel like if we look at life like that, then like it'll be better. It would be better for us. It'll alleviate a lot of stress and pressure to try to show up, keep up, all that good stuff. And we can just simply be, and things can just flow in our life easier if we really take the time to focus and prioritize what exactly needs our attention and what needs the least of our attention. Even if we can like write it out, like what's priority number one, two, three, four, all are important, but all of them have a place. And not everything and everyone is meant to be top. Amen. So let's practice harmony over balance. Let's try for, let's give ourselves like 2 weeks to try to create harmony in our life. So making sure that we are clear on what's top, middle, and bottom priority in our life, and then proceeding accordingly. Also, too, I read about this analogy. It was called plastic balls versus glass balls. I don't know why I just laughed, but it was called plastic balls over glass balls. And when you're thinking about in terms of your life and the things that you have going on, especially as moms, we have a lot of stuff going on between our kids, our spouses, our partners, and especially like if you're a single mom and you're on the dating scene, you're looking for love and you're trying to foster these new relationships. It could be a lot, and trying to handle all that while working, also to coming home, taking care of home, running a business if that's what you're doing, and having still trying to find time to socialize with your friend group and all that good stuff. It could be a lot. So when you think of it in terms of plastic balls versus glass balls, the glass ones is what you're going to want to keep in your hand at all time, because those are the ones that need the most care, attention. They need you to focus on them so that way you don't drop them and break them. And then you have your plastic balls. So your plastic balls are the ones that you could set down sometimes and you could pick up later. And they don't need as much as your attention. So even if you decide to drop that ball altogether, it won't break because it's still important. It's still a part of the collective harmony in your life, but it's just something that you can set down, you can set aside. You can keep your eyes off of it without the fear of it dropping and breaking. So when you think of it that way, it's like, okay, I need to focus or I need to determine what's the most important, what's the most pressing, what needs my top priority, my attention, and what things that are also important but really don't need as much as my attention, but I can still, keep to make sure that my life stays in harmony. So, yeah, that's just what was on my mind, and I wanted to share it with you guys because I know that we put a lot on our shoulders. We put a lot on ourselves to show up for our kids and our families, our friends, our communities, and we're always searching for balance. And I don't think that balance is what we need. I think we need harmony. We need more harmony in our lives, and we need to seek harmony in everything that we do. And everything just has to flow naturally. Everything that we do sets the tone. It sets the feeling from the very moment that we wake up until our heads hit the pillow at night. Everything that we do, it has to flow, it has to be in harmony so that way we can function the way we need to. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and land the plane here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And if you found this episode helpful, please share it with anyone who you also may think would find it helpful. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. I post show previews there. You can find all the links where you can watch or listen to the podcast there. Also, too, feel free to DM me there if you have any topics you'd like me to share about motherhood or you have any questions for me, anything like that, at motherhood_ghetto. Also, too, if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Make sure you join the Motherhood so that way you are always informed when a new episode is uploaded. As well as if you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to follow me there, follow the show so that way you never miss an episode upload. And y'all, I don't know if you've been paying attention, but I have been uploading an episode consistently every week since May 22nd. Now, like I said, I don't know if you've been keeping up or you've been keeping count, but ever since May 22nd, I have uploaded one episode every week. I haven't missed a week. So I'm just saying that because I'm proud of myself and I really wanted to be consistent with this podcast so that way whoever needs to hear it at whatever time they need to hear it, it finds them. So I'm hoping that that's doing what it does, and I'm hoping that that helps, and I'm hoping that you guys are enjoying the consistency of the content and of the podcast, and I really appreciate you guys for listening, and thank you so much. Until next time, mamas. Thank you so much for listening to today's podcast. Don't forget to follow the podcast and share with anyone who you think may enjoy it. And follow me on Instagram at motherhood_ghetto. Also, feel free to DM me if you have any experiences, opinions, or views on motherhood you'd like me to share on the podcast. Until next time, mamas.